last one to sign Galaxy. He was one of the last ones. The first one was Campos, and Cienfuegos was like the final piece. And when that happened amongst the Salvadoran community here in LA, it blew up like
wildfire. I mean, even now, I'm sorry to cut you off, but even now, a lot of, I would say a huge chunk of the Galaxy fan base is Salvadorian, and they're still here because of Cienfuegos in the early days. I mean, this is talk about a very loyal fan base, right? A player that hasn't played in over 15 years.
These
now?
fans became the Riot Squad. These fans became ACB.
Yeah.
The Outlaws. Who am I missing? Collections. All of these fans that you're talking about right here now bring their kids.
And now their kids are coming to the stadium.
All because of this one or two players.
One.
Your Cienfuegos, the Campos, Kobe's. You know, like, it's crazy how, like, these three players, like, you know, it's funny because do you remember ever seeing, like, the Ecuadorian fan base when Hurtado was around?
Hurtado, yeah.
I had never been around, like, at the time. I'm from East LA, and I wasn't really around South American people up until I went to Galaxy games. Now I'm sitting next to Ecuadorianos. I'm sitting next to Brazilians because of Welton. I'm sitting next to it was just crazy. Like, soccer, not only the Galaxy brought me into a cultural, you know, a melting pot of, like, nationalities and all this bunch of. When was your first soccer game at the Galaxy?
My first soccer with the Galaxy? I can't remember.
That long ago.
I remember you telling me it was around that time too, and how we had a whole conversation of how, like, green the grass looked when you walked into the Rose Bowl, and you only saw it on TV.
Yes, but I never went to the Rose Bowl to watch the Galaxy play.
You went to Cal State,
the Home Depot Center.
Yes.
Oh, he started going when we were working together in radio. That's when he.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was a fan that only dreamed of being able to be in a stadium and watch an actual soccer game. My parents never took me to a soccer game to see it. I'm telling you, man, it was me, my mom in front of the TV, folding clothes, gritando, "Ay, va Mexico!" You know, being all excited when they shoot on goal, and then if it wasn't working out, you know, and
we used to work in radio.
It was funny. It was her favorite.
You remember this?
German's over here showing a picture of us. I don't know. I look like I'm 12. And
that was the first time. That was one of the
Cup.
first times we worked the Galaxy event with radio, and they took us to what's now the American Express Lounge. I believe.
What cup is that?
2002.
2002.
That time they had it up there because it was like one of the two cups they had there. But I remember us having this conversation. We were in there.
Yeah.
Like, yo, man, this is crazy that we're in here and blah, 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 and this and that. And, like look how green the grass looks, and I wonder how it feels like a sponge, and just dumb things that you think about when you're, like, watching. When I went to the Rose Bowl the very first time, my first thought walking in there was, oh, shit, that's where Baggio missed the penalty. That was my first thought, I swear. Like, it was just crazy. And then
I remember that.
An hour later, Kobe scores the first goal ever.
Yeah.
So it's
what
crazy.
A wild. That was like, 60,000 plus people in attendance that game?
I never saw the Rose Bowl packed like that ever again. Only for a Galaxy, I think it was a Tampa Bay Mutiny and Mexico USA doubleheader.
Right.
Other than that, like, that was the first and last time that the entire Rose Bowl was packed like that. And that story that Kobe tells in the Galaxy Instagram, where it was like almost the 75th minute with 15 minutes to go, and people were still coming to the stadium, is true. I remember seeing all that. People coming in while some were going out. It was such chaos of the buzz around the first game, and here we are 26 plus years later, and, you know, talking to a Galaxy guy podcast.
But you guys are both the Galaxy guys. Now that I'm sitting here looking
we're
at
all
you,
Galaxy guys,
what
bro.
I mean?
It's like at the end of the day.
You. I mean, you were infield announcer for a long time.
German is a Galaxy icon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's too much. You're exaggerating there, bro.
He doesn't like, you know, being complimented like that.
Because it's like I was talking to Chris off before we started the show. I was just happy to be there as a fan. Like, what a dream. I left radio.
That's a dream.
I left radio to start all over again at Galaxy, just to be a part of the club and say, I don't care if I'm even selling hot dogs here. I'm part of the club. Like, the first time they gave me my first shirt, like, polo to wear, I was like, oh shit, like, you know, I have a Galaxy. I'm legit. The badge, and I have all that stuff still. Like, all those little things are what 10 or 11-year-old me would have, like, wished to, you know, like if 10-year-old me could see me now.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy, bro. And based on that nostalgic, you know, vibe, it's I still feel like 10-year-old me when I see people like you still bringing up Galaxy to the forefront the right way. You know, putting out content that people like me like to see. And
yeah.
It's good stuff, man. If you see some of Chris's stuff, he does pretty cool PR stunts. He does a lot of funny. Like, it's funny how the podcast is one way, but his way of, like, promoting the show is another. And it's so cool, man. It reminds me a lot of Cosmo, which is pretty cool. Like, because you don't care. You did the video of what's that guy that was drinking the cranberry juice? The skateboard. You did his version.
Dogface.
Yeah, you did the something at the beach. What were you doing at the beach? Like a Backstreet Boy type of what was it?
Yeah, where they let him down.
Yeah.
Where the team lets him down, and he's like kicking
just all
back.
Depressed. Yeah.
That's badass stuff, bro. Like it's.
But what I like about that is that he's being sincere about his emotions when it comes to
that's
this.
what's funny
Like
about
the team,
it, 'cause it's
the
like-
team is letting him down, and not
Years
only
of
that,
abuse.
He represents the fans. You
Yep,
know what I mean?
exactly.
So there's a lot of fans, walking lonely at the beach, looking at the
That's
dirt.
the feeling that I was trying to convey there. Yeah,
Well, you got it.
And I don't, I don't take myself too serious with that stuff because I like being silly. That's
Yeah.
my background with Reddit. I used to post memes and all that stuff, and I have press access now with the Galaxy. I get to ask questions to the
saw that
coaching
too.
staff
Sure
and
do.
the players, which is very surreal to me still.
Is it?
Can I tell you one thing? It's funny when I see those like when the Galaxy themselves post the I fast forward to your stuff right away. I was like, I know Chris is gonna ask directly. Let me just go straight to the point. I don't want to hear anybody else. No offense to anybody else, but I know that this man is gonna ask the hot questions and go straight to where what we want to listen to.
Do you? Yeah, you do. You like? I mean,
Not hold back.
There's been some criticism in the past of certain reporters that don't ask hard hitting questions. They do the softball questions.
Yeah.
I guess people are very protective over their press access,
Right.
and they don't want to have it snipped. So I like I said, I don't really take myself too serious. If one day I no longer have press access, then so be it. But I think it's fair to the fans to get the direct answers from the coaching staff.
So kind of steering the conversation back to, your endeavors and what it is that you're doing with the Galaxy Guy podcast.
Sure.
When did it hit? When was it like, all right, I know you started at Reddit, but when were you like, I got to do something a little more serious. I know some of these episodes, some of these podcasts are 43 minutes. You've got like a whole team going in now and, you're kind of like the ringleader of it all. But when was it like, this is what I'd like to do?
I've always been very opinionated about the team. I think that the show was born mostly out of frustration. a lot of frustration. Was the Galaxy? I could take my fanship away, right, and just call it like it is. The Galaxy's been very mediocre for a couple seasons now. German, you know this,
Damn.
right? So they've been mediocre for a couple seasons. So it was just a lot of built up frustration in me, and I needed an outlet to just get that out, and it's very therapeutic for me in a sense to just talk into a mic about the Galaxy. And it took off from there, and the people that used to follow me on Reddit kind of just came onto the show, and it's been snowballing since then. We're the fastest growing Galaxy show on the internet,
which is
right
so
now.
awesome.
Oh,
to
congratulations.
See, man. 'Cause at the end of the day, like, it's cool to see these independent projects, personal projects, go from one thing to another, and then I see everybody reposting your memes, and it's dope to see that stuff.
It's surreal
because you say and do what the rest of us want to do or want to say. And a lot of times, that's when I was like, wait a minute, this guy's saying things that I wish I could say. And I was like, okay, this guy's cool. I like what he's doing.
I appreciate it, man.
He's saying it how it should be said without holding back. It's a fan talking to the fans. And that's, and I'm telling you this as a fan myself of the club. The content that you put out is straight to the point. Like, I think the Galaxy fan base, you can't sugarcoat us. You can't, they can't be feeding us, little things wrapped around in a nice bow, like it's cool, but we'll get them next time. No, we're supposed to be industry standard. We're supposed to be a top tier club in the entire league
Here in LA.
There's no excuse.
Yeah.
There's no excuse why the Galaxy should be even in the position that we're in right now. As the taping of this show today,
there's no excuse for the Galaxy being where they are now, being the most expensive team in the league.
Exactly. You posted up their wages, how much they're making, and I was sitting there going, who does this? Who's like straight up, like, I mean, I've always wondered, and here it is. Line by line, the players, starting off with Chicharito, going all the way down to the guy that's making $83,000 a year. You know what I mean?
Hey, I would gladly take $80,000 a year to sit on the bench, man.
Yeah,
I would.
Oh, yeah, that's no doubt. But I mean, that's being, is there any kickback from Galaxy themselves? Like, I mean, are they pushback from them? Like,
I feel like I've. And German and I were talking about this off air a little bit. I feel like I'm just like the new kid on the block,
Oh, okay.
I still have to prove myself to the Galaxy communications department a
Right.
little bit more. But they've given me a fair shake so far.
Yeah, I'm sure they're
So far.
listening. I'm sure they're listening, and everything you say is valid. I mean, I'm guessing it's all public information anyway. Somebody would find it if they really want to dig in. They'll find it.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
Hey, Chicharito, how much do you make a year?
So now this is another reason why a lot of people used to follow me on Reddit was because I used to go above and beyond to get a scoop on a particular player. So if there was a transfer rumor, say the last one that I did was when Antuna was being rumored to the team.
Mm-hmm.
People were speculating if he was coming or not. So I went on his Instagram, searched around, saw that he had tagged his girlfriend in a very old post. I requested to follow her, followed her. I saw that she had posted a story recently where they were on a flight. So I was like, hey, listen, they're on a flight. Is Antuna possibly flying to LA to talk about contracts? And then a couple of hours later, she posted a video and there was palm trees in the back. I'm like, wait a minute, those palm trees look a little like trees. Los Angeles. Antuna's in Los Angeles. So, I was kind of fanning the flames of that rumor, and that ended up being true, So just little things like that where I would dig in places where maybe a regular reporter wouldn't dig. They would contact his manager or something like, hey, can you comment on whether or not he's coming or not, So
right.
Just a little different approach.
And is LA Galaxy the extent of what you'd like to be reporting on?
It's my passion.
Oh, okay.
It's my passion. I mean, I wouldn't knock any opportunity that comes my way, right? If
right.
MLS needed a Salvadorian American, correspondent for the Galaxy.
I know one.
Or even if La Selecta themselves were to reach out to you.
If La Selecta were to reach out to me, I wouldn't mind. But,
Can you imagine how crazy that would be, bro?
That would be phenomenal.
You end up, La Selecta's like half Saudi Americans now. Like, it's crazy how even that's shifted.
It really is, yeah.
La Selecta. Fill me in.
La Azul. That's the Salvador, the national team.
La Selecta's in Salvador.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, always good to learn more new things, And so, what about other sports besides soccer? Is there one that you like more so than others? I mean, besides soccer.
So, sports wise, I'll play anything. I've played just about every sport. As far as fandom,
yes,
soccer.
Oh, okay.
I've tried getting into other sports. I just can't do it.
No.
Like American football, it's too long. I have a very short attention span. My mind needs to be going. And there's just too many breaks in between. There's too many commercials. Same thing with baseball. I found that you could start a baseball game in the morning and you could still be watching that same baseball game late into the evening,
Yes, sir.
Soccer is just to the point. It's direct. It's fast paced.
Yeah.
It's easier to follow. It's in my heart. So for the time being, soccer. I've tried getting into hockey because of the LA Kings. It's not the same.
How many games have you gone to LA King games?
I have never gone to an LA Kings game.
I was about to ask you that because
I
up until I ever went to my first LA Kings game, I got to really actually embrace it. I was like, this is actually cool. Like, you got to see it in person. That's one of those you got to see.
It's harder to follow on TV because of the puck. It's so small, right?
We got to go to a game one of these days.
I've never been to an LA Kings game.
We definitely got to go to Kings game.
We'll pop our cherry.
Definitely.
There you go.
We got to go.
They have a Galaxy night.
The LA Kings has a Galaxy night?
And vice versa. They're owned by the same entertainment company, AEG.
Oh, I remember you telling me that like a while back ago. I want to ask you about the show. You do the show for the fans, and what makes Galaxy fans? What separates them from everybody else?
It's a very special fan base, and you have to remember, like I was telling German earlier, I would say that the majority of this fan base is Hispanic, and a huge chunk of that is Mexicans and Salvadorians. It doesn't get more explosive than that because Mexicans bleed soccer. Salvadorians bleed soccer, right? So you have a very passionate fan base. It's very, I mean, you see it now with the new LAFC team, right?
Yes.
And how passionate their fan base is. And you see when these two fan bases collide, they come together. It's fireworks,
right?
And that's what's made
Scary.
this rivalry what it is now,
which is fun
because it's the fan bases. It's Los Angeles.
Can I tell you something? Before this the other team we don't speak of, I don't like mentioning their name. I'm so anti mentioning their name. Before they got to this town, I used to enjoy the original rivalry against DC United. That was the original one. San Jose. Some with Seattle. But there was a part of me that always low-key was jealous of like seeing my friends that were like so into like La Liga, like Barça, Real Madrid, Argentina, River Plate, Boca, Mexico, Chivas America. I always wanted something like that here. So when that team came
Chivas USA.
Well, you see when that happened, but that was really forced, bro. That's
so forced.
Why to me it was like, nah, this doesn't feel.
It feels. You
went to some of those games with me back in the days, and
I just remember the team just wasn't the same. It
Failed
felt like
project.
It felt like the actual Chivas like B League team. That's what it felt
even
like.
worse, bro. That's the worst part. That it felt even worse than a B League team. Like they weren't even, they didn't even. I guess the previous owner Vergara or whoever had time, they didn't care about them. So when this other team